Okay, good morning and welcome back to the class. We are doing the data handling. We have already seen or discussed about the single bar graph and the double bar graphs, which is something that is done in grade 7. So we didn't spend a lot of time doing it. I just showed you how you have to fix a scale to draw a single bar graph or a double bar graph so that you are able to do it clearly. All right, I hope there's no doubt in that. So today we'll be moving one step ahead where we'll be seeing how to organize a data. Yesterday itself I have discussed with you about what is a data. So data is that information that you collect which is meaningful and has a context or a purpose for collection. So once you have the data with you, you should know how to organize it. But why should I organize a data? Organizing a data is very important because you have to draw information or to interpret the data. You need to put it in a specific way so that it is giving you the information in a very easy and meaningful way. So organizing data is what we are going to do next. We already have the data. We know from our previous class how we can represent that using a single bar graph or a double bar graph. Now in this stage, you will again revisit organizing data. Like in grade 7, you have organized data which allow you to make an ungrouped frequency distribution. So from the data, you should be able to create or bring a frequency distribution. A frequency distribution is nothing but a tabulated form of the raw data. Raw data will be given continuously to you because it is something that you're collecting for a purpose. Now, when that is getting organized, what we are trying to do is we are going to put it in the tabular form. Now, putting it in the tabular form again is of two varieties. Once you have an ungrouped data, you will lead towards an ungrouped frequency distribution. And when you try to represent this ungrouped frequency distribution in the form of pictograph, what you will be drawing is the bar graphs. It can lead you to the single bar graphs or the double bar graphs based on how the data is giving you the information. Now, when you have a grouped data, you will be moving towards creating a grouped frequency distribution. So, I'll take one example each and discuss what is an ungrouped frequency distribution and what is a grouped frequency distribution. You will understand them clearly. Now, when you talk about grouped frequency distribution, that will allow you to represent the given data in the form of a histogram. Now, how is a histogram different from a bar graph? Also, we will try to understand today. All right. So, we have 2 or 3 objectives. We are going to see how to create or make a group frequency distribution. Then we will see how to prepare a group frequency distribution. Both of these are prepared from the raw data which is available to me. Once you are able to prepare the ungrouped frequency distribution, you will understand when I put this in the form of a graph, I will be getting a bar graph. And when I try to put the grouped frequency distribution in the form of a graphical representation, I will be drawing the histogram. So we will take up one example here now to find out how we can draw. Okay, there's somebody still waiting. So I'll be taking up an example from the textbook. So I hope you have your textbooks with you. Do you have your textbooks with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then turn to page number.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I have already mentioned I'm going to do the problem on page number 72. You can look at the try this there in page number 72. I'll just read the problem quickly so that you are able to. I hope you have made a note of all this which is there on the board. What is organizing data? What are the 2 kinds of data you will get? And these 2 frequency distribution, what will they lead you towards? I hope you make a note of this in your classwork. So now let me go to the problem in page number 72. Let us try this. A group of students were asked to say which animal they would like most to have as a pet. The results are given below. So we have collected a data with respect to a favorite animal which children would like to have as their pet. And can you see how the raw data is collected? It is collected from some students. So it is just written dog, comma, cat, again cat, fish, cat, rabbit, etc. So this is a raw data. From this data, you can't interpret or draw information meaningfully. So this is the reason we are trying to organize it. All right. So the raw data, you can write it down in your classwork. Maybe you leave a small gap. We will not be wasting time copying this down in your notebook. You can leave, say, 3-4 lines where you can write this question. Now I will tell you how I can create an ungrouped data for this raw data that you have. So we are preparing a frequency distribution table, means you should prepare a tabulation in this form. So you will have the name of the animal that you want to have as the pet. So I will say name of the animal, because this is the information collected. A group of students were asked which animal they would like to have as a pet. So name of animal. Then you will say how many times or how many people like to have that animal as the pet. We will put it as tally marks. I think this you have done in the previous class also. Then the tally marks, when you total them, what you will get is the frequency. That means the number of people who like the particular animal will be totally shown as the frequency. So which are the different kinds of animals that is there? The first one is the dog. Okay. Then the next one is the cat. Correct? Then see what is the next animal which is said? Fish. Please look at the raw data and tell me which is the next animal that we
Rabbit. I'm a rabbit.
Rabbit.
The cat is written already. Rabbit. Unless you scan through the complete data, you will not be able to write all this down. After rabbit, is there any other animal? Cow. Cow is quoted. Okay, cow. Go on. Any other animal that I have skipped? Fish.
No, ma'am.
Fish. Okay.
No.
Dog. Again, rabbit, cat, fish, dog.
No,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay, I think we have exhausted everything. So your tabulation ends here. These are the 5 variety of animals which a group of students would like to have as pet. So now your tabular column is ready with the name of the animal. Tally marks means how many people have liked to have dog as the pet. Frequency is the total of all your tally marks. So how to put your tally marks, I hope you know how to do it. Otherwise, please pay attention, because such kind
Yes,
of
ma'am.
questions are very much frequently asked. Still somebody is waiting. So we will start. First one is the dog. So you will put 1 stroke for dog there in that column. Maybe I put it here. Okay. The second animal, you can cross it down there in your textbook. When you write 1 tally mark for dog, cross out the dog so that you don't have to repeat. Then cat. Again, it is a cat. Then fish. After the fish, it is a cat. Then rabbit. Then dog. Then it is a cat. Then rabbit. Then dog. Then cat. The 5th stroke will always be oblique. I hope you understand how to draw the tally marks. 1, 2, 3, 4 ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ 5 ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ stroke ಹೀಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So that you can group it in 5s. Okay, so we finished the cat, then rabbit, then dog, cat, then again dog, again dog, again dog, then cat, then a cow, then fish, rabbit, dog, cat, again dog, then cat, again a cat, then dog, rabbit, cat, fish, dog. So this is how the tally marks is complete. Please do not switch on your video because somebody is interfering with my video. Now see how many of them would like to have dog as their pet. So this is 5, 10 and 11. You must do it very carefully because you can't afford to miss even a single entry. Cat, it is 5 plus 5, 10 plus 1, again 11. Fish, it is 3. Rabbit, it is 5. And cow, it is 1. Alright. Now this, when you add, it should be exactly the same as the number given in the raw data. So count how many animals have been quoted in the raw data. Count, let me see. Count and tell me.
31.
Could you count? What is the number there?
Ma'am, 28.
28. Are we getting 28 here or are we getting more? Otherwise, we have skipped or repeated something. Are you getting the same as I have got the tally marks? Miss, you can switch off your video. I don't want your video. Yeah, I don't think we are getting a 28 here. It's a 22 plus 3, 25.
Ma'am, 31.
I'm getting a 31. Then why is it a 28 there? Please check if it is 28 or 31.
Ma'am, we have to write this.
It's a 28. Then where did we miss? Did we add something more? See how many times dog is repeated. Count quickly. Come on. From your raw data, tell me how many times dog is repeated.
Ma'am, 10.
Yeah, I think we have added an extra then there. Yeah, it's only 10. Maybe I missed while I was trying to count there. Okay. Similarly, count for the cat. Is it 11 or 10? Cat. Count the number of cats.
Ma'am, cat also 10, ma'am.
I have, I think, repeated some entry 2 times. Look out for the fish. Is it 3? Fish. Yeah, it is 3. What about the rabbit? I think it's a 4, not 5.
Ma'am, we have added one, ma'am. That's all.
Yeah, rabbit is 4, no? Is the rabbit 4 or 5? Fish, I think, is correct. It is 3. Rabbit, I am seeing only 4. Am I right? Yeah, 4 only. Now count. Yeah, I think we are getting a 28.
Ma'am, 28, ma'am.
Yeah. So be careful because I was turning towards the board and looking at the book. Maybe I repeated some entry. So this is what will tell you whether all the entries are taken or not. So my raw data which is given now has been converted into an ungrouped frequency distribution. Now look at the two data. The raw data is just having the names with commas in between. Whereas when you have the tabulated column or the ungrouped frequency distribution, you can quickly say that which is the animal which is the most favorite one as a pet.
Ma'am, dog and
The
cat.
most favorite
Dog.
one is pet. It is both the dog and the cat because they are equal in numbers. And which is the animal which is the least favorite among all the animals?
Cow.
Cow. Because it's only one child like to have cow as a pet. So this is giving you the information much quickly than the raw data. That is why organizing a data is very, very important. Now, organizing data can be done with the help of class intervals also, because it is not always necessary that our raw data will be a descriptive data like putting commas and then the number names or the scores or maybe the subjects, something which is descriptive. Now, if I have data of this kind, like continue looking at your textbook, page number 72. I have data which is a raw data for the marks obtained by 50 students in a mathematics test. I am in the same page, page number 72. Can you see how it is given? One person scored 21, the second person has scored 10, then 30, 22, etc. Like this, the scores are just written down in a continuous manner for the 60 students in the class. So by looking at this data, you are not going to get any information. You can't even quickly say which is the highest score and which is the lowest score. And you can't tell which is the most frequently taken score or which is the average for the class. All this you will not be able to tell from this raw data. So such a raw data, when it has to be organized, here it is very difficult. I can't write all numbers between. I think the lowest score, can you quickly go through the data and tell me what is the lowest score there? It starts from 21, it ends at 17. Among these scores, which is the lowest score? Scan quickly. I think it's 10. Is there a
Ma'am, 5.
10 there?
5.
Ma'am,
5.
5.
Yeah, there is a 5. Good, because that is the only single digit entry. So the lowest score is 5. And what is the highest score? The maximum is 50. So see if there is any 50 at all.
Ma'am, there is 150.
Yes, there is a 50. So the lowest score is 5 and the highest score is 50. So we can't write down all the scores, that is 5, then next one maybe 10, then it goes to 12, etc. We will not be able to write this first column as the scores given as it is. Instead, we will try to group them in smaller groups. Like, suppose I take the tabulation like this. Anyway, I need the tally marks which will lead me to the frequency. Now, instead of writing the individual scores and trying to tally them, I will put them in small groups. To put them in small groups, I will be trying to fix the class intervals. Class intervals means I take small groups, that is, I will find out how many students have scored between 0 and 10. That is the first group. So this is the first class interval that I have. Then the next class interval I would think of will be 10 to 20. How many have scored between 10 and 20? Then maybe 20 and 30. Like this, till where should I go on? How many more groups do you think I have to make? I know first group is 0 to 10. All children who have scored between 0 and 10 will come and sit in this group. Then I said 10 to 20 because I have some equal distribution. If there are 10 scores taken as one group, the next 10 scores will be between 10 and 20. Then it will be 20 and 30. Like this, how many more groups do you think I have to make? Who will tell me how it is to be made? Where do I stop? Should I keep on telling 30 to 20 to 30, after that 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60? How long should I go on?
Ma'am, 50 to 60.
Should I go till 50 to 60? Why 50 to 60? Why should I stop
Ma'am,
at
because
50
there
to
is
60?
150.
Ma'am, because there is 150, ma'am.
Huh? Why should I go to
Because
50?
there is 150.
What 150? What is 150?
Ma'am, because the highest score is 50, ma'am.
Highest score is 50. So should I stop with 40 to 50 or should I go to 50 to 60?
Ma'am, 40 to 50.
Yes,
Ma'am,
more than enough. This is 30 to 40, which includes all the scores between 30 and 40, then 40 to 50. 50 also included there. When I say 0 to 10, both 0 and 10 are included here. When I tell 10 to 20, if I have already included 10 in the previous, I will take between 11 and 20 only here. So this is called a continuous class interval, where you always take the lower upper limit to be included in the previous class. Now, after I have created this class interval, I have to go and put the tally marks. Now here, how will I put the tally marks? What should I do here? Once my tally marks are ready, I know how to write the frequency. Now tally marks, how should I put here? Same way. Take the first score, 21. Yeah, will someone read the scores for me so that I mark it as tally marks there? One of you will read it. Who will volunteer to read slowly as I am putting the tally marks? I will listen to
ma'am,
what,
shall I?
and put the tally marks. Yes, who is doing that? One of you has to read. Why are you so hesitant?
Ma'am.
Ma'am means I can't see you. Who is speaking?
Ma'am, Miss Up, ma'am.
Okay, Miss, start reading. First score.
Ma'am, 21.
21. Where should I put 21 between 10 and 20?
Ma'am, third group.
Third group. Right. Okay. Yes. Go on.
Ma'am, 10. First
10.
group.
Now you should decide whether you will include 10 in the upper interval or the upper limit or the lower limit. Always we look at the right hand side. So 10 is included here.
Upper level.
Upper level. Okay. Yes. Next. Go on.
Ma'am, 30. Third level.
I put here
Third one.
the third group. Yes. Okay.
Ma'am, 22.
You don't have to tell ma'am.
Third.
22. Again here.
33. Fourth group.
Yes, that you cannot say. Just watch whether I'm doing it properly.
Ma'am, 5. First group.
No, you keep looking at the score only in the sub because you will miss something then. Okay, go on.
Ma'am, 37. Fourth group.
37, right.
12. Second group.
12.
25. Third group.
Yes, 25, right.
42. Fifth group.
42, yes, okay.
15. Second group.
Yes.
39. Fourth group.
39, okay.
26.
26, yeah. This is
26. Third group.
okay, yes, next.
32. Fourth group.
32, yes, okay.
18. Second group.
Yes, 18.
27. Third group.
I'll put it here. 27.
28. Third group.
In group,
19. Second group.
yes, 19.
29. Third group.
29.
35. Fourth group.
So it's an oblique here, 35.
31. Fourth group. 24. Third group. 36. Fourth group.
Okay.
18. Second group.
Yes, 18. So it's an oblique.
20. Second group.
20, please be careful. It should be on the upper limit. Yeah, 20.
38. Fourth group.
38, right.
22. Third group.
Again the same. 32.
22. 22.
Okay, right. Okay.
44. Fifth group.
Yes, 44.
16. Second group.
Yeah, it is the 16.
24. Third group.
24.
10. First group.
Yeah, 10 first group. Next.
27. Third group.
27 third group, right?
39. Fourth group.
Yes.
28. Third group. 49. Fifth group.
49, okay.
29. Third group.
29, yes.
32. Fourth group.
32, so I have an oblique.
23. Third group.
23, okay, so it's again an oblique.
31. Fourth group.
31, okay.
21. Third group. 34. Fourth group.
Okay.
22. Third group.
22,
23. Third group.
okay.
36. Fourth group.
Okay,
24. Third group.
okay,
36. Fourth group.
okay.
33. Fourth group.
How many more entries? Okay, 33,
47. Fifth group.
47 fifth group, okay.
48 fifth group.
Okay. 50.
50 fifth group.
Yes. 39.
39 fourth group. 20 third group.
20. No, 20 is second group, my dear. Please be careful. We have decided
Yeah,
to
yeah,
take it on the upper. 20 is the second group. Yeah.
7 first group.
Okay, the 7 is the first group, right?
16 second group.
Okay, second group.
36 fourth group.
Yes. 45. Right?
45 fifth group.
Yes. 47 again.
47 fifth group.
30.
E
Third
third
group.
group.
22.
22 third group.
Then third group. Yeah.
17 second group.
Second group. Yeah. So this is how the tally marks is done. It is exhaustive, I know, but we have to do it. That is how you create a group frequency distribution. So let us count and find out between 0 and 10. There are 4 children who have scored. Here it is 10. This is 5, 10, 15, 20, 21. This is 15 plus 2, 17. And here you have an 8. So total 8 plus 8, 16, 20, 60. Perfect. See, our total is 60. So we have not given,
Yes, ma'am.
skipped a single entry. Good, Mr. So we are being very, very careful, right? So you should total it like this and should be able to show. I hope my laptop it is visible. Okay. So this is called a grouped frequency distribution because you are taking the groups to put the tally marks. You are not giving it for a single entry. You are grouping it because the number is very huge. You can't take individual entries. So this is called a group frequency distribution. And when we try to draw the graph for this, what we will get is a histogram. Now, how will this histogram be different from a bar graph? I will show you now. Quickly, we will do that. I hope you are writing all this in your classwork. Anyway, I'll be sharing the video also because I'm recording it. If you're finding it difficult to write it simultaneously along with me, at least watch the video and complete it. All right. So now when I want to represent this grouped frequency distribution in the form of a graph, like yesterday I was telling you how to draw a single bar graph or a double bar graph where you had the x and the y axis marked first. And on the x-axis, you have taken the individual entries, and on the y-axis, you are telling what is the length of the bar that you want, which will depend on the frequency. On the y-axis, you will have frequency. On the x-axis, you will have the individual entries. Now, when you draw the graph of a grouped frequency distribution, on the x-axis, you will be marking the class intervals. So, how will you make the class intervals? Always where the x and the y axis meet, that is your origin. Now, because you are starting from 0 to 10, it is very simple to mark the class intervals here. You will have to mark it in counts of 10. You have started with 0, then it will be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 and so on. It is enough if I have till 50 because my maximum score is 50. So maybe you can maintain 2 or 3 more. Then on the y-axis, so on the x-axis, what you are marking is the class intervals. On the y-axis, you will be marking the frequency. So here you have to fix the scale because you are seeing it is somewhere between 4 and 21. So what is the best scale that you can take? Think and tell me where you will be able to clearly mark. Can you take it as 1, 2, 3, 4 and mark it till 21? That is also good because it is maximum is 21. Maybe you have to make a very long graph there because 20 squares you have to mark. How do you reduce the scale? Instead of counting in 1, can I make it counting in 2s? So exactly half of it if I have it is enough. I will start with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. This is one way of doing it. Otherwise, you can even think of counting in 5s. It can be 5, 10, 15, 20. This will become very short. Alright. So suppose your numbers are somewhere between 0 and 50. Then you can think about this scale. So for me, I think it is convenient if I take it as a scale of 2 units. Maybe you can show it in your graph sheet. Here I am not able to show. I'll just show you 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. You may have to add another 2 more, 18, 20 and 22. Alright. So once your scale is ready, on the right hand side, write down the scale. The scale should be written as, on the x-axis, 1 centimeter. That is every square that you mark. Scale you will write y-axis 1 centimeter equals 2 units. Every 1 centimeter you have marked as 2 units. This you have to write. Very, very important to write the scale in your graph. Right hand side corner. Alright. Next you have to start with the class intervals. Between 0 and 10, 4 entries are there. This is the first class interval between 0 and 4. The number of entries are 4. So this is my first bar that I shall be drawing. I can shade it like this. Alright. Then the second bar is between 10 and 20. The entries are 10. 10 and 20, it will come somewhere here. So this is the second class intervals that I have. 20 to 30, I have 21. So 20 to 30, I imagine somewhere it is coming here. How will you find 21? You will have 22 only, no? How to find 21? Suppose I extend the graph here. You may have this question in your mind, no? Ma'am is telling only even numbers. This will be 18, this will be 20, this will be 22. Then how will I get 21? Where will I go and search for 21?
Ma'am, middle of
Yes.
20 and 22.
The center of your 20 and 22. So this will be your third class interval. Alright. Then the fourth interval is 30 to 40, which is 17. Now where will I search for 17? I have 16, then I have 18.
A middle of 16
Yes.
and 18.
Yes. So somewhere here, when you pull the class interval there, it comes like this. So this is your third interval. The last interval is 8. So my 8 is here. So between 40 and 50, I will have 8. So this is the graph for a grouped frequency distribution. Now look at this graph and compare it with your bar graphs. What is the main difference that you're seeing between them? Apurva, switch off your video. I'll see that later on, my dear. What is the difference between the bar graph and this graph that you are seeing? Is there a difference? Go
Ma'am,
to the
there
bar
is no
graph and
gap.
see. We have discussed bar
Ma'am,
graph.
there is no gap.
Yes?
Ma'am, there is no gap after one bar graph.
Yes. In between the bars, here you don't have a gap. But in a bar graph, there is a gap. So this kind of bars, when you represent graphically, this is called the histogram. The bars, if they do not have gaps or intervals between them, the graph will become a histogram. So always a grouped frequency distribution will give you histograms. Is that clear? So today I am leaving you with 2 more problems. This you have to write it in your class work. Tomorrow our class is between 2 and 2:40. That is not to be met online. So I am giving you work for tomorrow which you will complete. Please look at your textbooks. You are going to prepare frequency distribution and also draw the frequency curve. That is the histogram you are going to draw. So turn to page number 76, exercise 5.1. Are you looking at it?
Yes, ma'am.
5.1, page number 76. Are you looking at it? Exercise 5.1, the second,
Yes, ma'am.
third and the fourth one you have to do. All right. The second one will be a ungrouped frequency distribution because here the names of the colors are given. So you will only write the names and put the tally marks and find out the frequency. The third problem is salary of people. So you have to prepare a class interval. They have already given you the clue. The class intervals will be between 800 and 810, 810 and 820, etc. So prepare the class intervals and then put the tally marks and find out the frequency. Then the last one, that is the fourth one, you have to draw the frequency distribution curve. That is the histogram. So the third problem, you will prepare the table, and the fourth problem, you will draw the histogram. So 2, 3, and 4, you have to complete it and show it to me when we meet back on Thursday. Is that clear?
Okay,
I hope
ma'am.
you will be able to do it.
Okay.
I will try to share that video which I was talking about. I will share the link in the WhatsApp group. All right. So it is enough for today now. Just bye from here. We will meet not tomorrow but on Thursday. All Wednesdays it is your offline class. You will do the work allotted without coming online. Is that clear? Okay then. Bye. You can leave the meet. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Have a nice day, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am. Have